Are there a handful of games? Are there any games that you would put in front of that and go, yeah, that was a bigger blunder in the playoffs? Yeah, that.
Blowing a lead like that with 2 minutes, yeah, that was rather remarkable. How you can have like a 12-point lead with 2 minutes to go and end up losing the game in overtime. But again, here's my theory on, especially in playoff games, the more field goals you kick, the closer you are to losing. Can't kick field goals. You got to score touchdowns. And had they scored touchdowns twice inside the 5-yard line, that would have never happened. But when you kick field goals, you always leave yourself susceptible to something weird happening at the end because you've never created enough separation, even if you're dominating the game.
All right, Mickey, 5 minutes to go in the ball game. Morgan Burnett intercepts a pass for the Packers. Instead of returning it as far as he can and getting the Packers in the field goal range, he goes to the ground near midfield. The Packers end up punting on the next possession. When you saw that, did you immediately, like me, say, why did he go to the ground so soon?
No, I didn't, because I figured they had the game in control.
Me too.
And the worst thing that could happen is you fumble the ball back to him.
That's
now,
what
see,
I'm saying
but
the exact same thing to Todd. He's like, he could have ran into field goal range. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
I don't know if he could have or not. I mean, I don't know if I ever saw a wide shot to see, but I thought for a change, I said to myself, oh, there's a smart guy.
Me too.
The hero.
There's not DeMarcus Lawrence is what you're saying?
Well, yeah, exactly. Go down, make sure you hold on to the ball. Now, everything else they did through there was fine. Now, you would have liked to see them run get a first down, but the idea was to soak out all the timeouts they had from them by running the football, which they did. Now, who knows? You're not gonna cover a wheel. You play defense pretty well the whole game, and then you don't cover the wheel route to Marshawn Lynch, and then on the onside kick, you have a guy that makes a deadhead play. That guy wasn't there to catch the ball, Bostic. He was supposed to block and let
Jordy Nelson.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he wasn't even supposed to jump for the ball.
Oh,
he's not even supposed. That's why, at first I said, oh, look at the special teams coach chewing out the poor kid for not catching it. Then I realized, no, he chewed him out because that wasn't his responsibility. It was Jordy Nelson's responsibility to catch the ball. He was supposed to block, and he goes up and tries to catch it. That might have been the worst attempt to catch a football I've ever seen in my life. He closed his hands like 2 seconds too late, and it hit him in the face mask. Are you kidding me?
Mickey, I will say this, though, and Zach and I talked about this before the show. I almost feel bad for that kid because what you said about him having to block, after the game, he stood in front of the media, he took his medicine, he said, I screwed up, I made the wrong play, I wasn't even supposed to jump for the ball, it's my fault we lost. As a guy, you're a guy that covers the Cowboys day in and day out. You've seen guys like Brandon Bostic who are barely on the roster, or special teams guys. You got to kind of feel bad for him, right?
Oh, yeah, you do, and you just sit there and they kept showed him on TV, right? Every time something good happened for Seattle after that, they showed him, and it's like you could see him just thinking, can I just dig a hole in the ground and crawl in it, And, and good for him that he faced the music, but still, just do what you're told to do. Don't try to be the hero.
So, see, now you kind of defaulted to Mickey Spagnola with us, by the way, our Cowboys and NFL insider. You kind of defaulted to don't go. Why aren't you going for it on 4th and goal from the 1? As kind of, at least, and tell me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming, as the dumbest things, and I make that plural, that Mike McCarthy did in the game.
Because especially the first one. I just thought the first one, you got to go. It's too early to kick a field goal. You're on the road.
On the half-yard line, too.
Yeah, and against a team that plays awfully good defense. And if you got that opportunity to score a touchdown, you've got to score a touchdown. You just can't take 3 points. And, it reminded me, and it's not the exact same circumstance, but it was sort of the same deal when the Cowboys in 2009, after winning that first-round playoff game. They had to go to Minnesota. So now you're on the road. You're in a really hard place to play. And I don't remember the particulars, but this is going to be close. They've got about a 4th and 1, 4th and 2, somewhere around the 32-yard line. So now you're going to either kick a 50-yard field goal or you're going to go for it and try to retain possession. Well, Minnesota at that time is scoring points hand over fist. 3 points is not going to help you. You got to score touchdowns. You got to be aggressive. And they went to kick the field goal. They missed, and the rest of it was history. They got smoked. But you've got to score touchdowns in the playoffs. You can't settle for field goals because you just get left behind.
Well, I defaulted to a different place, and I am not arguing the mistakes that I thought were made in kicking field goals on either one of those occasions, in my opinion. But I defaulted as the dumbest thing that I thought Mike McCarthy and the Packers did the entire game. I defaulted to falling for a fake field goal up 16 points late in the third, where a field goal, just like we're talking about on the 4th and 1s, a field goal does you little good. I mean, so let them have it. Let them have the 3. Don't get caught on a fake.
That's another on the list, right? Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And the tough thing is the way the guy was running. I mean, if he ran, he was going to pick up the first down, and the guy came up to try to stop the run, and he was supposed to be covering the
right.
Whatever, tight end, defensive end,
the tackle-eligible receiver.
The tackle-eligible receiver that goes running down the field, which was actually, you got to give that punter some credit there. He made a pretty quick decision there that, I can throw this for a wide-open touchdown, or I can run and get hit and maybe get the first down. So
it's funny, Mickey.
Heads-up play. On
Twitter yesterday, as soon as it happened, I said, I told the guy I'm watching the game with they're going to fake it. And Zach said, so did I. And someone else said, so did I. Everybody seemed to know that was that was something that was going to be at play, and the Packers still didn't cover it.
I wish I could have got it out.
All right,
on Twitter
on to different things. I don't want to talk about this Packers game anymore. On to different things. The Cowboys, is Brandon Carr going to be playing for Dallas next year?
Well, I think that's going to be that has to be decided. I'm sure what they would like to do is to reduce his base salary, but everybody's quick to say, is he going to play? Like, you can just cut the guy and he goes away. All right, so here's the deal. If you keep him, he costs $12.1 million against the salary cap, or 12.7. If you cut him, he's going to cost 12.1. And you don't have anybody. There's a salary cap deal here.
Right.
He's got guaranteed money signing bonus. So you can save $500,000 if you cut him, but $12 million of dead money is going into your salary.
Right. The cap hit is not worth it, doesn't seem like.
So you can make him a post-June 1 cut. Then he's going to cost you $4 million and change this year. And next year, he'll cost you $7.4 million.
Better question would probably be this. How important is it to restructure his contract in terms of getting DeMarco and or Dez Bryant signed?
Well, restructure usually means that you're
getting the same amount of money.
Yeah,
you're just moving it around.
To me, you gotta convince them to take a pay cut.
Yeah, this is a straight pay cut. This isn't a reconstruction.
And just say, instead of an $8 million base salary, hey, how about $3 or $4 million? And if you're on the team next year, then we'll guarantee you that money that you gave us this year, you can make it the next year, because he still has 2 years left on that contract. So it's going to be a delicate thing, and I think a lot of it will come up to Brandon Carr. But the other thing, if you say that, then who's playing cornerback for you next year?
Right.
You see, because now you're going to have to go spend money to replace him. So if you cut him right away, not only is he costing you $12 million against the cap, now I've got to go spend money to go buy another cornerback that I know can start, because I'm sure they're not going to look at Morris Claiborne as, well, he's just going to plug in because he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And as good as everybody thinks Orlando Scandrick is, how many interceptions did he have this year, by the way? I think it was 0. So, to me, they would create another hole at cornerback. And I thought the last month of the season, Brandon Carr played pretty well. He did a number on Jordy Nelson in that playoff game. I think Jordy Nelson caught, 2 passes, and both of them were comebacks.
There's a reason Devontae Adams caught a lot of passes. It's because Jordy Nelson was covered.
That's because they had Carr on him, and they decided Sterling Moore can cover Devontae Adams, which is another thing that everybody was, the Sterling Moore, he's so good. Well, no, he's not. He's a third or fourth cornerback on your team.
Well, then let's do this.
To me, you're opening up another can of worms if you get rid of Brandon Carr.
Well, let's do this then. I'm just going to do 3 names. All I want out of you is numbers now, okay? I just want numbers out of your mouth, nothing else, because we're going to have to fly through these. 1 through 10 is the scale. 10 being you are near 100% sure that the guy will return. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 names, and you give me your confidence level that they will be on the roster Week 1 in 2015. Okay.
All right.
Des Bryant.
10.
DeMarco Murray.
6.
Brandon Carr.
7.
All right. That'll do it, Mickey. Good talking to you.
I managed just to say
you did it. That was so good.
That I did it.
You did. That was so great. See, that was great. I love it.
That's a very tough thing to do when you're Italian, just to limit yourself to one word.
That's what makes you great on radio. See you later, buddy. We'll talk to you.
Okay, have a good day, guys.
Likewise.